I was born into the fun fair. We used to have a site with the fun fair in Carlisle called the Sands. It's now called the Sands Centre because there's a big theatre there. But that's where where I was born. Not on the Sands. I was born in George Street, about 100 yards from the Sands.
Our family's all been born in Scotland or England. My brother was born in Greenlaw, because that's where we were. My other brother was born in Selkirk. I was born in Carlisle, Jimmy Carlisle,
Alan Carlisle.
and one Dumfries.
Well,
We've all been Rothbury,
we're called Border Fun Fair
Border Fun Fair people.
because we work the borders. We operate we put all the amusements. It's not only us. There's lots of families.
The first thing I used to do was building the coconut shy up. So we used to build like a market frame and put that on, then put the things for putting the coconuts in, you know. So, and that's what my job, and my job was collecting the balls. When the people chucked them at the coconuts, I used to go down with a bucket and pick all the balls up and put them in, then take them back to my mum, and she put them back in the ball box.
Before the hobby horses, they had these flying chair things. And I'll tell you another, they started off with this shuggy boat. We call them swing boats, but they called them shuggy boats, where you get in this boat and there's about 6 of them in a line and they swing back and forward. That's the first thing. Then there was a set of chairs where the young from a bar and the kids on a seat, and a man just wound it with his hand. He wound it like a mangle with his hand, and it made the ride go round. And that was the early fun fair stuff.
In them days was really hard. I remember my dad saying he built a dodgem, and that was in the 1920s, 30s or 20s. They built a dodgem from scratch. That came over from America. A man called Barnstable's brought one over. And when they brought the dodgem cars over, she was telling me it had no buffers to stop them going off the track. He never built that part. And when they put all the cars on the track, people drove them off the track. That happened then.
Waltzes, well, I would say they started in maybe the late 20s. The waltzes and speedways, because they're a similar ride. The only one's got like cars on that you spin round, and the other one's got motorbikes that you sit on. And they've like a chariot. Some of them was called Noah's Arks, because some of them, instead of motorbikes, had animals on, like kangaroos and giraffes and horses, and you could sit on it. That's why they called it the Noah's Ark. But then somebody said, what a good idea, put motorbikes on it. It looks more like Speedway, more thrilling, eh? So they put motorbikes on, and my dad swapped our animals to motorbikes, and that made it look like a different ride. But it was the same ride, but no animals, motorbikes. And then what took over after the motorbikes, people seemed to, they got these waltzer cars and put them on. So that was the next step. But then there were still motorbike ones and waltzer ones. So we got to the stage where you could have your choice, go on the speedway or go on the waltzers. And that's how that's come about. Like I said earlier, the waltzers and the speedways, a lot of parts to them. Lots and lots of parts. And they take a lot of work to put them up. In the olden days, when my dad was there, they had like 7 and 8 men to build nearly each ride up. The young lads love coming and helping. It's a glamorous life in that part, jumping on the speedway, the waltzers, the dodgems. It's all glamour. You see our lads jumping off and on, spinning the cars, and they think, oh, it's easy that. Look how easy it is. They don't realise they've been training for about 6 months just to learn to stand on it, never mind spin the cars. They think it looks that easy and all. They make it look that easy. Man, I'm 75 and I can still do it. But at the end of the day, I would say the most popular ride on any fun fair is the waltzer. And after that, it's got to be the dodgems. Because there's certain rides that's what we call established fun fair rides. And the waltzer and the dodgem and the speedway are the three, what showman class is the same, the main attractions on any fun fair. If you go to a fun fair and there's no waltzer, speedway or dodgem, to me, it's not like a fun fair there. You can have the modern twists and these fancy flyers and all that, but they're what we call attractions, not They had fun fair rides, but they're more of attractions than the old established. Even the old jumping horses, they used to be really popular, but now they're too timid for the younger generation. In the early days when I was a kid, like to add the attractions to the fun fair, my dad used to go to a place called the Town Moor Fun Fair at Newcastle. It's a massive fun fair, and there was always attractions there for people to see. You didn't have to pay now. All you had to do is put something in a bucket to tell them out, because these people just come to like buskers. That's what it was. But hey, they're coming from all over Europe. We had one, Elfie Morel, she's from Germany, and this young lady used to go up this pole, like it's like a big fishing rod, but it went about 60, 70 feet in the air, and she used to stand on the top with a trumpet and play "Oh My Papa." It used to sway just like a fishing rod would, up, back and forward, and "Oh My Papa." Then she'd put the trumpet down, and then she'd hang on it by her teeth, and put her hands down by her side and spin round, and just by her teeth. And then she'd get back up again and start doing handstands on this thing, swaying all over. If it was windy, it even swung. You thought, oh, she doesn't fall off. No safety belts, not one bit of safety. No, there was no health and safety there, I'll tell you. Other attractions we had Peg the Eye Diver, was him and his brother. He used to climb up this big mast. They built a swimming pool, well, a tank it was, not a swimming pool, a tank about 20 foot wide, and my dad had to get the fire brigade to come and fill it full of water, and it was about 15 foot deep, yeah. And he used to climb up this pole that they built up, mine in the air. There was a one about 20 foot up where the older man done all somersaults, and right. But the highlight of the show was when Peggy went right to the top, and he set himself on fire he put all I don't know what methylated spirits over him, but he had proper gear on, and he stuck away up the top here, and all of it was usually late at night when it looked really effective, and he set himself on fire, and then his dad would set the tank on fire, put something on top of the water, and so that was the highlight. That was the finished finale, and he jumped off, and the flames were even coming down like Superman into this water, and the water would splash up, and then that put all the flames out. But that was Peg the Eye Diver. And that was really, I can remember that's clear as day.
We always opened Thursday, Friday and Saturday. And a lot of times, when you went near the sea, you opened for weeks at a time, because it was different people all the time coming into the town. But working in the seaside, it's not like, you don't get rushed off your feet. You just take over every day, and up the end of the week you get a wage. Where if you go to a gala day, you've got to get all that money in one day, because the Thursday you just open and take peanuts, but make sure the stuff's right. The Friday you get a little bit, but everybody's waiting on the main day, and on the Friday night they're getting the floats done up for the next day. Everybody's too busy, and that day you have to get that money, so you have to put the price up, maybe sixpence or something, just to make sure it covered the week's wage, because you had to get that week's wage in that afternoon. Now at the seaside, you had every day. So you had 7 days a week, but there was no time to yourself, because you open early in the morning till tea time or late at night. So you could afford to be cheaper, because you've got, if it rains today, you've got tomorrow. If it rains on Saturday, you ain't got Sunday. The fair's a cycle. When you're a child, you come with your grandparents fetch you to the fair, right? And they'll come on the fair and they'll go around, they'll get a balloon, or they'll hook the duck, or knock the can down, things like that. Then they'll get older and want to come back. Then they come back by themselves, and they want to be on the waltzes, and they want to be on the dodgems by themselves. And I've seen this many a time. Then they go through when they get too old for the fair. Oh, I don't see you coming now. Oh, we don't come now, we're too old for the fair. Then the next minute, you see them coming down with a pushchair, with a baby. You think, oh, you're back. Yeah, well, the child wants a balloon. You think, oh, here we go. Then he comes up. I've seen this so many times. Then he gets older. Then he wants to go, and he wants to go on the dodgem. And he's on the dodgem by himself now, going round. And I've seen this. I've seen children, granddads, and There's a moment in time where they all stop coming, but then they come back. And that, I think that will always continue.
My dad said, listen, just enjoy it because it's a way of life. And as long as you can get yourself 4 meals a day, but I don't know why 4 meals a day, because one's enough. But as long as you get 4 meals a day and keep yourself healthy, that's all you need
And
in
Brother
life.
Billy said, all you need in life is a good bed and a good pair of shoes.
That's true, didn't he?
You're always in one of them. You got a bed.
A good pair of shoes and
You got good shoes and a good bed. It's good philosophy, isn't it?
it is.